Lisa, you said. Okay, 7 o'clock, call the meeting to order, please. We always begin by asking you to silence your cell phones if you would, and we will also stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lisa, would you call the roll, please?
Sure. Darcy Cadwin?
Here.
Angela Brown?
Here.
Jasper DeChristopher?
Here.
Tara Shields? Ray Armstrong?
Here.
Keith Gosha? And Evan, is it Matheny?
Here.
Okay, Evan Matheny?
So adopted policy, I will read that. I do see we have some audience participants back there, so if you haven't heard this before, it's kind of how we conduct our meeting. Adopted policy of the Berlin Township Zoning Commission is that each applicant or agenda item will be given 10 minutes or at the discretion of the chairperson to make formal presentation. Chair will allow questions from the commission members in order to provide a timely and orderly discussion of business for consideration. Finally, the audience will then be given up to 3 minutes or at the discretion of the chairperson for each speaker to respond. Chairperson may limit repetitive debate, and all comments from the audience must be addressed to the chairperson. Lisa, can you verify that this meeting was advertised?
Yes, on February 16th, 2026 on the website and the Facebook page. But is one of these a new application?
Yes.
That was just submitted, so this is not 10 days notice. It's on advertised on the 16th. So that was advertised 8 days ago for the new, including the new application because it wasn't tabled.
Okay. I think we'll just go forward for now. Let me think about it.
Okay, all right.
There's a date.
We have also meeting minutes from February 10th that I would like to accept a motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve the BZC meeting minutes from February 10th, 2026.
I will second.
Mr. DeChristopher?
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Mr. Matheny?
Yes.
So we do have an applicant tonight with 2 separate applications. First one is BZC 26-001, Beachwood Crossing owned by Delphine Movement, application for a zoning map amendment, requesting recommendation for approval to revert an existing lot back to FR1. It's located at 3710 Hyatt Road, filed by Delphine Limited at 6660 North High Street, Suite 1, applicant is submitting a plan and an application to rezone 1.21 acres. I will not read the parcel number, located at 3710 Hyatt Road, Lewis Center, 43065. Do you want me to combine these?
It would be helpful if I could address it all at once.
Is that past Mr. Rudy?
Yes, so just if the board would, if the chair would go ahead and open both at the same time, we could run them basically together.
Okay. Well, then I will also talk about the second application, which is BZC 25-005, Beachwood Crossing, also owned by Delphine Limited. This is an application for a zoning map amendment, requesting recommendation for approval of a final development plan filed by Delphine. Applicant is submitting a final development plan and an application to rezone 49.70 acres. I will not read those parcel numbers either. Located at 2085 Peachville Road, Lewis Center. And so if our applicant would like to come forward, tell us all about it, please.
And out.
these different from what we use?
Yes. Would be.
The only changes really were that B4 and B5, right?
Yes, as far as that, this is
Nice
a
wording.
copy of the slideshow, so that is.
Yeah, okay, so there's not really anything that's changed.
There's one thing which I'll refer to in a second.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I appreciate you putting these off too, because my printer doesn't want to print them.
Yeah, I couldn't even open
I
it.
just, my printer just doesn't know.
Our printer was big.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for having us, Anthony Moore, the planning design. With me tonight is Mike Shade, attorney, Todd Ferris, Ferris Planning Design, and Kevin Kirshner with Keeling Horn Engineering. What I've handed out, the small little package, revised prints of exhibits B4 and B5, which in my digital review of my files, it looked like we had printed it wrong. And reviewing it, Bill, if this evening, it may have been correct, but we've got new copies of that. And then that last copy, which is C6, in reviewing the project this afternoon, looking for some cost for estimates, I noticed that the play set that I had specified originally is no longer available. So I've revised detail 1 there with a equivalent playground set that is currently available. The second handout is a copy of the slideshow, which I'm going to go through and discuss with you here. I want this available so that you can look at it close, have something to write notes on as I go through this. The format of the slideshow, let's get into it. This first slide here, which is last page on that, is in reference to the FR1, the first zoning. Originally, it was intended to be the entry to the subdivision. It has been the last lot there on the Hyatt Road next to our subdivision has been plowed. It's intended to be the new entrance. It improves site distance, turning, accessibility, and it doesn't divide the existing housing development into 2 pieces. So it seems like a good improvement, and therefore in the resolution of this project, it's intended that that original house reverts back to FR1 and continues as part of the existing housing lots there on Hyatt Road. The format of this slideshow here, on the left-hand side is a number of talking points that come from our discussions last time, and refer to the improvements made for this second submission. First on the list there is the divergence for section 10.06B, lot frontage was not supported. Originally, we had 2 lots, which is shown in the small diagram there. The 2 green lots there, we had 80 foot at the right of way, but not at the lot setback, which required the divergence. In revising the site, we actually went from 77 units down to 76 units, and realigned all those lots so that there's no divergence needed for the 10.06B. So all lots meet that requirement in the code. One item of note that in the review of this, we discovered that the original acreages from the preliminary plan to the last submission to this submission were incorrect. Originally it was zoned at 50.1. We had revised that to 49.7, and in this review of it, the actual acreage is 48.6. Net result and density is pretty much flat once we reduce the lot. That change in acreage is pretty much a flat line in density. The next slide there, we'll cover 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. Line item number 2, will there be bollards for the emergency street access? We have identified bollards in two locations on the emergency access. First there, just past the right-of-way line on the from Peachboro Crossing, prevent anybody from turning in at the Peachboro Crossing roadway, or Peachboro Road right there. And also we have bollards at the north end of the emergency access, just beyond our proposed parking for the mail, which will prevent anybody, accessing the parking for mail from accessing further into the emergency access. Line 3, we need more details on the relocation of the mail kiosk, as shown in here and in our development set. We have relocated the mail kiosk to the cul-de-sac, and we're pulling parking off of the cul-de-sac just onto that first part of the emergency access. Line 4, including parking and shelter or the mail kiosk. Down there in the bottom corner is a detail, I think, that is in our submission set as C7, but we've included that detail, a little bit more detail, showing that there will be a total of 5 of the CDU units to get the 76 units needed, and that it will be arranged and covered over a nice structured canopy. Number 5, delineate the separation between Peachboro Road and the walking path. That is indicated in this diagram as a red line, just at the right-of-way line, and in between the Peachboro Road and the indicated 10-foot multi-use path, which is the bold pink line running parallel to Peachboro Road. And then number 6, delineate separation between the existing FR1 residence at the east property line along Peachboro Road with fencing. And again, that is represented on this diagram here with the red line at the property line bordering the development's property and that existing FR1 lot. Line 7, delineate separation between the proposed lots and the playground and open space areas in the back of the property. Again, all fencing on these diagrams is indicated in the red line, and that is shown here at the open space between lots 64 and 67, where it's indicated that the fencing is going to delineate the separation between the lots and the open space and playground area. And furthermore, delineating between the open space and the existing lots along Pyatt's Road, we had that mound and landscape tree area. Line 8, more details regarding the vinyl shapes and siding, particularly gauge of the material. It is intended for a 0.044 inch vinyl to be used as the siding and the shapes. That was indicated in our submission on Exhibit E2, pages 5 and 7 of that exhibit, and shown here, highlighted in yellow. Line 9, mounting and screening along the railroad behind lots is to conform to township zoning and make the screening more opaque. We have indicated that we are willing to expand that mound and raise it to 6 feet. We've indicated that all the trees along that back property line between the unit lots and the railroad will be an evergreen species. We are working and talking with the utilities and their engineers to confirm that this solution is viable. And if we come back with a negative result from that, we will then look into fencing and landscaping to comply with code. Line 10, provide a pathway connection to the temple property. We are indicating on our plans a trail connection at the end of our entry landscape. And it is shown there on the diagram there. There's a question, will there be sewer access for the existing residents on Hyatt Road? The answer is simply yes, there is going to be. On the plans, we have proposed a sewer extension to the existing lots between our lots 66 and 67. There's a 20-foot sanitary easement shown along the eastern property line. We are coordinating with the county engineer to determine the application of a gravity line that will serve these residents. The details of that engineering have not completely been resolved. Line 12, it was a request that the green giant evergreen trees be planted behind 3885 Hyatt Road and that existing residence, and plans have been updated to show, and showing in these two diagrams where those are behind 3885 Hyatt Road, showing the evergreen trees and ending them out as green giant evergreens. Line 13 was to remove the word permitted from page 5 of the development text. Model homes will need a conditional use permit from the BZA. And the development text has been revised to read as follows. This development shall have a maximum of 2 model homes, which shall adhere to the conditions as defined in section 11.4. And below it's recognized that section 11.04 is subject to the conditions and restrictions imposed by the Board of Zoning Appeals pursuant to the provisions of Article 32 of this resolution. Line 14, we were asked to remove the modern architecture from the set. We have gone through the set and pulled out the ones that look modern. If there's more thought on that, more than happy to entertain that. Line 15, revisions at the entry. We have included the 10-foot path on our frontage, albeit very narrow, there on Hyatt's. We have been in discussions with the adjacent property owner there on the south as to his access to his house. We are showing a access easement there at the front, a 20-foot access easement there at the front that has a curb cut and will be paved for him. That has been, by my understanding, accepted by the county. That works, and they're okay with it. And then there is further back on his property, we're showing another 20-foot access easement that he desires for a possible second entrance at some future date and time. We're giving him the access easement for that. And of course, our entry landscape has been adjusted according to the needs of this property owner. And the last slide there is the last page in this, which is our illustrative layout plan, just for reference during questions. But I'll open up back to the board.
Thank you for that presentation. So at this time, which members have questions, please? Mr. Hill, you will go first? Oh, wait.
I'm fine with that. Actually, I really don't have any questions for you. I really commend you on the work that you've done in answering all of what we were concerned about and had problems with and didn't like to start with them. You've answered them very well. You've done an excellent job from what I can see. I assume, I have to make an assumption is that the owner of a piece of land that you're not going to use for their entryway is minimal to having his zoning reverted.
It's the same owner.
Oh, okay. That I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, they purchased, it was part of the land purchase, so it's already been sold.
Oh, okay.
They don't even go on.
It's, okay, I don't have any questions.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
satisfied with it.
No, I think that these are all great. My one question was, if we go back to where you're talking about the Mountain number 9, line 9.
Yes, ma'am.
So, since there's the gas easement there, the 60-foot gas easement, how is that gonna affect the mounting that we put in there?
That is what we're trying to clarify through the
Okay.
utility company,
Okay.
as to how far they'll let us encroach on their easement.
Yeah,
And like I said, at the result of our conversations with the utility company, whatever is needed to comply with code, be it fencing or whatever adjustments, will determine that.
okay, yeah, because I mean, they could essentially have to dig up a whole mound if.
Yes, and if the mound goes in and they have to, because of the easement, they have full right to tear out the mounding,
Destroy it.
and then it falls back onto the HOA to restore it once the utilities complete.
Okay, okay, great. And then I appreciate all of the architectural coming out. So, number 12, where the green giants are going,
Yes,
that's in back of, the one spot, like where it actually shows the green, line 12, that page, sorry, I can't see it from glasses on, and I can't see my glasses on. So that is where the break in the trees is, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and that's now all green giants, okay. Alright, yeah, thank you, I appreciate all the changes that you did, you guys did a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I'll be honest, I'm gonna go in line with everyone else so far. I went through the exhibits provided, looked at our notes from last time as to what we asked for, what the comments were from the public at the last meeting. And I mean, it looks like you not only addressed all of those, but then obviously the newer things where you worked with apparently the neighbor there to the south to give him access to your entrance as opposed to him probably being right on top of your entrance, which is not probably very amenable to him. so he gets a little bit better entrance with this as well. All of the fencing that you've added, the mounding, I like the mounding that you use to separate kind of the recreational area from the retention pond. So you've got some mounding there as well as trees, just to kind of help make sure that things don't go from one area to the other. It was there last time, but this time I noticed it a little bit more cleanly. The kiosk obviously you hit, and then additional details on the exterior materials. So again, same type of comment. You know, seeing as how this is kind of a one step, and really what this would be is what we would consider a final development plan. I think you've got the detail that would typically have matched up to what we used to do with a two-step for a final development plan. So commend you on that.
Thanks, sir.
I agree. Thank you for doing all this. The only thing I couldn't find, and I may have missed it, is you mentioned there would be a canopy over the kiosk. Did you have an illustration on that?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yep, it's in there.
There were a lot of foldouts, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not the new one.
Well, it's in the
It's in the submission. I think it is C7.
Yeah.
I'm close. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I was very impressed with that detail.
We like that.
Thank you. I always look about that.
And I will also mention, in addition to, really responding to all of our comments, removing a lot, we like that. Removing the divergence, thank you, very good. We don't have any other comments really. Evan is our newest member.
Yeah.
And
No, I mean,
questions he's got.
this was a super easy way to understand and kind of get up to speed on what's happening. I mean, my only big concern in going through all this was definitely the gas easement, thinking about the future of, hey, that this could land back on an HOA. So, but it sounds like you guys are working with them to try to figure that out. Is there any, have you guys thought about any potential backups to that if it didn't work out?
Well, per code, if mounding isn't available or appropriate, then it is fencing and landscape.
So we like to keep the opacity, railroads obviously from vision as well as sound.
Regardless of the mound, it will be evergreen all the way
You're
across.
gonna know. Okay, very good. Okay, if you guys don't go further, we do have some audience members. I'd like to open it up to you guys. If you do have comments, please give us your name and address, and I'd like to hear from you. Nothing? Going once? No. We'd like to hear you speak. You got things to say. If not, we will return to our applicant. I understand. I think that you want to proceed tonight with a vote on this.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, to that end, we have,
Do we have to separate them?
I would, I would. So I have two
Proposed sample motions for you this evening. One obviously related to each of the two applications. I'll hand them to you, but I want to make sort of two procedural observations for the record. First, as the commission remembers, the second of the two applications, the one for the FR1, the sliver of property, was submitted to the township after the first one and after Regional Planning Commission had already looked at, as it turns out, both of them. So they got a little bit cart before the horse, and that happens from time to time. These two cases are so intertwined that it would be understandable if that would happen that way. Pip and I reached out to Delaware County Regional Planning. Pip reached out to Scott Sanders with Delaware Regional Planning, and Scott confirmed his recommendation of approval for the FR1 property, and confirmed that that was the application they reviewed. It was the same as the version the township received a few weeks later, and that had we resubmitted it to the Delaware County Regional Planning, it would come up with the same outcome. And we have a copy of that letter certainly in the file. But the reason for that, as the commission is aware, is there's a statutory requirement in the law that sets the process for rezonings that says that regional planning is supposed to receive a copy of the application after it's been submitted. Again, we got the cart before the horse a little bit on that for understandable reasons. I wanted to just report back to all of you and note that we have connected the dots as much as we can without duplicating efforts at this point with respect to that. The other item unrelated to that piece of the process, as you may have heard at the start of the meeting, it appears that the published notice of tonight's meeting, again with respect to only the FR1 piece of property, was published on the website and social media on February 16th, which, as you know, is not quite 10 days from today. The statute requires 10 days. We've done a little bit more homework, and the mailed notices that are also required in addition to the published notice. The mailed notices were mailed 2 weeks before tonight's meeting, so well in excess of the 10-day requirement. So while we cannot eliminate all of the risk of an 8-day notice as opposed to the required 10-day notice on the published, I'm relatively comfortable given all of these factors. The difference is 2 days, not a week, not 10 days. Right? We didn't publish it yesterday. We published it 8 days ago. Given that the residents who are entitled to receive mailed notice had it well in advance of the 10-day, or mailed it well in advance, and then zooming out even a little further. Again, recognizing that the FR1 component and the PRD component are so intertwined, practically, I would say, even though the statute doesn't make allocation for the allowance for this, practically, the folks who would have gotten published notice and maybe didn't get mailed notice would have been, to some degree, on notice of, again, the FR1 portion hearing by virtue of what, months ago, having published for your initial hearing on the PRD section. So while there is some degree of risk that someone could say, I suppose, didn't know, I wasn't told, I think that risk, advising the commission, I think that risk is fairly minimal, that if you were to move forward tonight, someone would have to say, I wasn't told and I have been harmed in some form or fashion. And I'm just not sure right now what that would be, what someone could say, that given all of the other means by which someone could have found out that they didn't, I feel like we've probably pretty well blanketed the radio airwaves, all of the above, with notifications. But I did want to put that analysis in front of you tonight in case that raises any questions or concerns.
Fair, I think. I just think so. Okay.
Sure, yes.
Okay. I move to recommend approval for the amendment proposed to the Berlin Township zoning resolution in case number BZC 25-005, which amendment consists of the rezoning of 48.6 plus or minus acres located generally at 2085 Peachboro Road, consisting of the following parcels addresses: 418-340-0104-8002 and 418-310-01-049-000 from the PRD district to a new PRD district with R 1.5, 1.85 overlay, including divergences with the following modifications. We have no divergences. We have no modifications. Or modifications.
Did you want to read the one that is there?
Various changes to development text and development plan reflected in the versions, including exhibits stated on 210.
Now you understand.
Just to incorporate the most recent set.
The most recent set, okay.
Yep.
Okay, Ms. Brown,
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan,
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong,
Yes.
Mr. DeCourseur,
Yes.
Mr. Matheny.
Yes.
I will make a motion I move to recommend approval of amendment proposed in Berlin Township zoning resolution, case number BZC 26-001, which amendment consists of the rezoning of 1.21 plus or minus acres consisting of the property currently having the following address: 3710 Pyatt Road, Lewis Center, Ohio, 43035, from the PRD R3 district to FR1 district.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. DeChristopher?
Yes.
Mr. Armstrong?
Yes.
Mr. Matheny?
Yes.
Ms. Brown?
Yes.
Ms. Kaplan?
Yes. Accepted? All right, thank you. Thank you once again for being very responsive.
Yes.
Thorough, thank you. Do you want to recess just for a couple minutes, let that break down?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's recess for 3 minutes.
So, yes, it is, so stimulating.
You were conversing.
Yeah, when we might break around.
I do like the idea of putting the job like that, coming in.
9 months. Probably 9 months.
I'm wondering what this was at, maybe they're gonna put a garage or something back there eventually.
They got it. The way those are duplexes, and they have shared driveways on both sides, and their driveway that we had to relocate was shared with the house we're tearing down. So that's why we had to do it, but that person that is on that can't get to the back, so this is the only way to get to the back. Because there's a garage and the garage is in the way.
Okay. Oh, so they're, yeah.
So if they gotta get back there and maintain it and stuff like that, they need
Yeah.
another access.
That makes sense.
We're hoping they would just do it.
Oh, do it.
Yeah, I like that one. I share one. Okay, we're gonna buy it and once we got this off. Yeah, and they were just.
We took care of it. Probably tear it down.
And then when they actually go to build he reviewed we're gonna get against based on the plan and make sure that everything matches up.
Nice job.
Oh my God.
I think the most ironic thing of all of this is don't use somebody else's text verbatim because you pick up their bad acres.
Yeah.
We started
He's
figuring out,
suspicious.
wait a second, what's that now? Guess we're gonna have to get rid of a lot of
Yeah.
They were there.
I like it. Oh, there's got it. 25. We might have put it in.
Yeah, trial by fire, so we'll bring you some of the people paying, that's for sure.
Hey, don't try too hard, okay?
You know it's gonna happen at some point. We'd like to pack the room.
Okay, well, I'm going to call us back in order, please. So it's like we will have an early night. Now we were prepared to move forward with deadlines, although Philip might have an update. Do you have any news for us, Philip, for the board?
Yeah. So I've got the packets to hang up for next time, so 2 weeks from now, that's Parkside, Rockford. So I can hand those out. I know there was further discussion. Jen talked about what happened previously.
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah,
Okay.
at some point tonight.
Yeah, I think we all remember that hearing, and I know there were some resolutions, but I don't think we are.
Other than that, Scott, about an hour before the meeting today, Scott did get back to me with some information, so I haven't had a chance to look over it yet. He does want me to give him a call tomorrow. But he has sent over some text that we can put into the updated zoning resolution. Jen and I did have a call, was that last week, to discuss how we wanted to tackle making the changes. And we hope to have that ready for you by the 24th of March.
Yeah, because we'd like to, move forward at some point before too long.
You know how eager the commission is to be through that piece of the process, at least for now, till the next round comes through, right?
Well, we'll start. Yeah, we'll start. Okay, that's pretty good news. Anything from the commission members?
I think this is the first year I feel like since I've been on the commission that spring break for Olentangy does not fall during our meeting. Like our meeting isn't the same week as spring break, so that's perfect. Because I just looked, I'm like, oh no.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we usually have to cancel it.
Oh, yeah. So everybody is, so right now, at least good for the 10th, sounds like. Okay, very good. I have something I want to bring up, and this, Jen, I hope this is appropriate, is, I got deposed a couple weeks ago, and there were some things brought up that I felt some uncertainty about. So I'd love just to talk amongst ourselves as well as get your input. One of the things that was brought up, hit pretty heavily, is
Are these, I'm sorry to interrupt you, are these, would you say that this is in relation to pending or ongoing litigation?
No.
Okay.
No, this is a more clarifying point about what our role is. No, I
Understood.
realize I have to tread quite carefully, but it was brought up that we as a commission, if it's the bio or the park, that we do have an ARB, and that there are standards for exteriors and aesthetics, basically, that they have purview over, and that they then give their recommendation. Yes, it meets criteria, or no, it does not. And we accept that and move forward.
Okay.
The discussion had to do with what our role as a commission is in discussing things like exteriors, materials, and do we have purview over that? And in doing kind of my own reading, I have to say I don't have an answer. So, I know we do, like we ask, what's the gauge of vinyl? What colors are acceptable? What's it gonna look like?
This is, I'll say this is a little more complex, not because there isn't an answer, there is an answer. It's a little more complex, so why don't, Darcy, why don't you and I touch base? I'm not trying to punt that question.
No, okay, and I'm not trying to
But
stir the pot, but I'm like, what's the answer?
Let's chat either right after or.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have to say, I'm at this point, I'm like conflicted about where our role should be.
Understood.
Okay. Anybody else got stuff? No? Well, gee, this is like a world record. We get to adjourn. Anybody want to make a motion?
Wait, did you want to discuss, is this on the record or off the record?
Right now, we're still on.
Right now, we're
No,
on.
no, you said that you had something to give us about Parkside.
Yeah, let's talk about that after.
After
that.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Let's go. Thank you. All right, thanks, guys. Hopefully the last room meeting. This never happens. That's great.
Last night,